Hey dudes, it's Lydia. I know I look like a toe, I feel like a toe, but today we are going to be reviewing some new brushes I just ordered online. These were $9. Well, they were like $8.99. And I want to see if they're like really cheap or like kind of worth it, because they were not expensive at all whatsoever. So first of all, packaging. They came in this package. It's like a little bag. And then they were all individually wrapped in one of these things that I just dropped all over my floor. Oh well. And then there are 16 brushes. Let's read the description to you. BS Small Makeup Brush BRU.in is what it means for brush. Makeup brush set new. Hopefully it's new. Okay, so let me show you the overall look at them first. When I open them up, each one, here's all of them, they looked pretty nice for $9. They looked pretty good. The only one that doesn't look too hot is this egg one, because see, like the dye is really cattywampus looking, and over here is really bad. It's like, ooh, you know. I mean, it's not going to affect its makeup job, but it just doesn't look very good, you know. And then, not every single one, but quite a few, probably over half of them, had a hair or so that I had to, like, cut off or pick off. So, wasn't crazy. They weren't crazy. They weren't, like, freaking spread apart or anything, because they came in a package from the company, so they haven't been messed with. So, that's good. So let's see what I think about these. Okay, so first I'm going to be using this flat kabuki brush, and I'm going to use it for all of my like face stuff. So this is moisturizer that I'm putting on right now. And then next I'll put on my foundation, which is Light Ivory by Stay Matte by Rimmel London. So there we go. Okay, so as far as that one on moisturizer, it worked pretty well. I do think it used more moisturizer than I usually use, but I do usually use a damp beauty blender, so it's clearly going to use more, because moisturizer, if you mix it with water, it's definitely going to go further. So, okay, now for the foundation, whatever it's called. So, as for coverage, I think it is okay. It's not the best. I think I do like my beauty blender better. But I don't use brushes very often, so I guess this is kind of just me being prejudiced and wanting to use my beauty blender. And it's, oh, that's a little streaky. It wasn't too streaky. Now it is. So maybe I need to blend a little more, but it wasn't too bad. And by the way, I'm definitely not very picky on what I use to put on my makeup. So I'm not a very like high profile classy gal, so it doesn't look great, and I say it doesn't look great, then it means it doesn't look good. So this doesn't look bad at all. I think it looks blended out, but I have spent a minute or so on it, so I think it takes a little longer than the beauty blender. On my nose, it's not really doing very good covering my like the cracks and everything on my nose. The makeup isn't like getting into the brush and actually like working and staying on my nose, and it usually does with the beauty blender. So that's the kabuki brush. Okay, so see this brush, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's a little hair. Yeah, it's not focusing, but there's just a little hair, and it's not a big deal, but there's just one. And then like on the top, the hairs aren't very even. Okay, so this is, I'm going to be doing my concealer with this. I guess I'll just apply it on my face and then blend it out with this brush. And I definitely usually use my finger, which is like the best coverage. So, and this brush is like a flat brush. I don't really know how else to explain it. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. I think the main difference I've found from this and my finger are this is like dragging out longer, because usually my concealer stays about in this area, and this concealer I've gotten pretty far down my face to blend it, which isn't necessarily bad, but put it on my eye, it'd be right there on my eye, not to be all the way down here, you know? Okay, done with concealer. I think the coverage, oh, I need to do this, but I think the coverage is like pretty good. It looks just about as good as my finger does. And I use my finger because it doesn't absorb any product. I can just like wipe my finger off on some other part of my face, then I'll use all the concealer that I picked up. So now I'm going to be using my powder. I'm using Airspun, and I usually use this brush, which I don't even know. I got it for Christmas. But I think I'm going to go in with this egg-shaped brush, the one that was really cattywampus looking, like chunk. Look at that chunk. It's chunky, man. Chunky monkey. Okay. So, let's see here. Ooh, loose powder is so fun when it spills everywhere. So, I first focus right under and around my eyes because that's the part that creases up first. I really like this already, I can tell. It's very, like, light feeling, and I feel like it'll take me a lot less time to powder my face than this one. The bristles on this one are a lot more loose than this brush. Like, this one is more tight, and I think that would be better for that sparkly one. Not sparkly, but, you know, I think that would be better for, like, bronzer or blush or something. So, yeah, I really like this. I think it's really bouncy, and it feels good on my face. Look at that. The ugliest brush does the best work. Life lessons with Lydia. Didn't you know? So I really like this. I think it blends. I don't know what I was gonna say. I think it picks up a really good amount of product, and it makes it go more than my other brush does. So win on this brush for shizzle, especially if you use it for powder. I don't know if you use it for other stuff, but powder is a win. Okay, what's next? My other facial things. Okay. I need to take a breather. I literally woke up 5 seconds ago, and my sister brought over my brushes, and I was like, yes, I gotta try these out. Okay, so I'm going to be using my big boy brush. That's not the egg one, but it's the other big one. And I'm going to be using Totally Toasted from this fun thing that I have for my bronzer. And it's summer, so I don't really, I mean, I do contour sometimes, but I'm not going to contour today. I think it works. It's not picking up a lot of pigment, which this palette is kind of hard to get pigment from. You got to work with it for a few minutes to get, like, something out of it, you know, which can be good, but also it's kind of annoying. Because if it is easy to get stuff out, then there's a lot of fallout, and you really don't want that either, because you'll waste product. So, bronze. I like this. I think it's blending out really well. That's a little harsh over here, but I think on the rest of the face it's blending out pretty well. So that's a win-win-win for me. Okay. Then next I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals blush. What is it called? Just blush. Oh, Sweet Cheeks. Sweet Cheeks is what it's called. I'm going to be using this brush. It's like an angled, yeah. And I don't usually put a whole bunch of blush on because I see my mom do her blush, and she puts like the freaking most blush you could ever imagine in your whole life on her face. And she looks crazy. So I have learned from her to not do that. And trust me, I've tried to teach her that she looks like a clown, but she doesn't listen. It's not pausing. Great. Great, weird, awkward cut. So I think this blush is kind of a heavy-handed brush is heavy-handed, not the blush. I think the blush is Bare Minerals, so I think that could also be a factor of why it's so, like, pigment, you know, because it's literally just, like, fancy. So I used my fingers and went like this a little bit to blend it out a little more. But I think the coverage is good once I blended it out, and it didn't just take up all my product. Definitely used all of it. So, now, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. Think this one could be used for highlighter. Not quite sure. I guess we can just see. Okay. So the only, like, kind of highlighter I have is in this fun thing. So it's called Pink Highlight And let's see how this works. Okay, I know what's happening now. I know what makeup means. It's popping. It's working. Okay, y'all. This fan brush does not work for highlighter. I don't even know who the heck brought it up in the first place, but I agree with James Charles. It doesn't work. You have to use one of these. Like, I don't even know how to explain it more than don't use a fan brush for your freaking highlighter. Because, girl, I'm getting so much more of a glow. Look at that glow. And this isn't even like an expensive one. And I know it's not like that great, but it's pretty freaking good. Whoa. Okay. Highly recommend this for your highlighter if you choose to do that. Oh gosh, now it's time for eyebrows. Okay, I hate doing my eyebrows because I'm bad at them. And they're different shapes, they're different sizes, and they're different colors because my eyebrows are just really fun. So, I usually use this Goof Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit, and it's like a mini one. So I'm going to use eyeshadows and that, and I'll be using, I guess I'll try to use both of them and see which one works better, because I don't really know what else I'm supposed to use this for. Maybe like under my eye, or maybe on top eyeliner, but I don't usually do that, so if you're wondering how I do my eyebrows, this is basically what I do. I brush them through upward this way, so they just get pigment on it, and I don't draw them in because it's like crazy looking if I draw them in because I'm so blonde. So I do not do that. But if I do end up giving it more instead of just that, I usually brush it through the spool. I don't just leave it look like caterpillar hairs. Then I'll just use a little bit of an eyeshadow because I don't have a fancy palette for just eyebrows. So, I mean, this kind of just works how I'd expect it to work. Not bad, not awesome. It just works. I think for this brush, the powders or the fibers are like kind of loose at the end of it. They're pretty like sturdy down at the bottom, but then on the top they're pretty loose. I think it's because it's such a long brush. So I think that's why. But I think it works pretty well. So okay, so the eyebrows are done and I think they look fine. Let me try to get a little better light for that. I mean, it works, so I don't know. I don't have a whole bunch of those that I use for different things, so I think it just works fine. Basically all the rest of these are, oh, and I did not end up using that teeny one. I don't even know what I would use that for ever in my life, but you never know. I could use it sometime. So all the rest of these are basically eyeshadow brushes. So let's get into that. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing burgundy kind of colors. So like these two up here, and I'll add a little black. So let's see, what should I start out with first? Yeah, I did not know what the heck you would use this Humongosaurus Rex thing for. I don't know, maybe like under your eye for that part, but it's kind of weird because you already have a brush you can do that with. I don't know. There's also like a cut crease brush, which I don't usually do cut creases, but I can look at it and see what it does. So I guess I'll start out first with this long blending brush. The only ones that are like wider are these two, and they're not very like loose. This one's pretty thick. I think this one is kind of the consistency of the highlighter brush, so I'm gonna still stick with this one, and I'm gonna use Aubergine. Yeah. So the pigment turnout was like, whoa, it's here. It's ready to be alive and on my face. So that was good. Oh, that looks funky. Okay, I fixed it, I think, kind of. But see, it's like really chunky over here. Chunky monkey. So maybe it's like too pigmented. Maybe it's just so good that it doesn't even work because it's just too good. Who knows? So you can see how there's like roll focus right there. So let's see if I can blend that out a little. And I'm just using a light hand because I don't want it to go away and I don't want to add more, so I'm just trying to like move it around some, you know? So let's use my finger, see if I can fix it some. It looks better in real life than it does on camera, so, but doesn't look too great. I don't know how to explain it. It like kind of works. So I'm going to go under my eye with the same color with this little dinky brush here. Not dinky, but smaller. It works just how I expected it to, so it's fine. Some of the small brushes are kind of hard to like judge because they just do what they're supposed to do. See, so how, like, that's not blending up there. So that's kind of a rough. Let me get some more and try to fix it. Okay, I think it'll work, but you'll have to spend some time on it for sure. So I definitely think it worked, but it did take a hot second to blend it in, which is fine because makeup takes a while, but you know, I'd rather it be a little easier because I have, see, it's just chunky, kind of chunky, so maybe I picked a bad brush to do it with. I can try to blend it with a different one and see what happens because it's kind of looking a little rough. Kind of like my voice, just raspy all day. Something I've smoked 20 packs. And see, like, this brush is just adding more pigment, which I don't really need. I need more blendage. So, well, my dudes. Okay, I think it works. I think it's just a little rough, and you gotta spend some time. I think I cut myself off. Spend some time blending. So I'm gonna use the smaller version of that brush I just used and do some more parts of my eye. So right now I'm adding Dusty Rose onto my lid with the smaller brush, and I think it looks pretty good. It definitely takes a minute to get the pigment kind of getting and going and on your face, I think. But once you work with it, it definitely does build and get actually starting to work. So now I'm going to be using, I don't want to use that one for my highlighter, so I'm going to use the same one. I just kind of dusted it off. And I'm going to do the highlighter parts on my eyeball. Okay, so I'm going into my Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to be using Primavera, which is the golden shimmery one. And popping it on that lid. Oh, girl, she's popping. Popping. Okay. I feel you. I think I like my finger, using my finger for my highlight a lot. So it's definitely different, but it isn't bad. So it's just, I think it's a lighter touch than my fingers. So let's see what my finger would look like. Yeah, see all that pigment from my finger? I didn't get that over there, which is fine because it's a brush and it's different, but I have to even it out. Okay, so I think this would be good for like under your brow bone. Oh, by the way, I'm using a different color. I'm using the white shimmery one, which is Vermeer, and I think this is good for this stuff. Yeah, it looks a lot better. I think this would also be a good highlighter brush on your face. So, add some more. You can never have too much highlight. Actually, yeah, you can. Ooh, put that highlight right on that pimple. That's how you get attention. Hi. Now I'm going to do my eyeliner and my everything else that I can't do with the brushes. Then I'll show you the finished look. Y'all just got mascara all over this freaking lid. So we're going to focus more on this lid whenever I show you the reveal. By the way, for your lips, I definitely recommend using an angled brush. This is not to be a small set, but I would definitely recommend using it because it definitely makes your lips look so much better and more precise. Okay, so this is the finished look. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Or if you don't like it, if you just like the review. So this is what it looks like. I think it has awesome coverage. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think these brushes are a win, especially at least like half of them are a win, because that's kind of all I tried out with. Close up on the eye. I messed up on my mascara. I always do. So I think it looks pretty good. So I do recommend trying these out. Bye!